The term pigposium may sound a little odd to farmers who've never heard it before, but there's really nothing funny about glyphosate-resistant Palmer amaranth or pigweed for Arkansas growers. More than 200 farmers braved the heat and humidity to get an update on the latest technology for controlling herbicide-resistant pigweed at the Respect the Rotation Pigposium at Keiser in Northeast Arkansas, July 23rd. Jason Norsworthy, a University of Arkansas weed scientist, was one of a group of experts from Arkansas, Tennessee, and Illinois who spoke during the event. Norsworthy, who has appeared on similar programs in a number of states, talked about the prospects for new stacked gene herbicide-resistant technologies that are expected to be introduced in 2015 or 2016. The common thread among both the new dicamba and 2,4-D tolerant technologies is that they each also contain the LibertyLink trait.
Do you think Dow, Monsanto, BASF, those companies don't value LibertyLink technology? Absolutely. The reason is, folks, it works. Not only does it work, what's interesting is when I mix it with dicamba and I mix it with 2,4-D, it becomes a consistent herbicide. Very, very consistent on pigweed. Am I sitting here telling you, let's start planting dicamba cotton and use Liberty and dicamba over the top and let's forget about all these pre-emergence herbicides? Absolutely not. That's not where we need to be. We've got to, again, continue to overlay these residual herbicides and use them.
Norsworthy said he believes Arkansas farmers have turned the corner on the herbicide-resistant weeds, but he urged growers to continue to follow a policy of zero tolerance with the weeds and their seed.
2006 is when we found our first glyphosate-resistant Palmer amaranth. Obviously, we've had glyphosate resistance from 2001 in our horseweed, but really the Palmer amaranth is the one that our growers have really been challenged with. I really think we've turned the corner. I'm not going to say that we've completely solved our problems, but we've begun to integrate more and more LibertyLink soybeans into our systems. Our growers are very proactive in terms of using residual herbicides. Most of our acreage today is going to have residual herbicides on it at planting. We're using residual herbicides following emergence of the crop with our post-emergence applications. As we noticed today, there's a field just north of here where there's a crew in that field hand removing, chopping pigweed, and we're doing a tremendous amount of that in cotton. And even there's a large percentage, I would estimate probably in Arkansas today, 25% of our soybeans, we're sending a hoe crew through there at least once to hand remove any escapes that come through those programs. So again, the key here is soil seed bank management, and hence the reason that we're going to have this workshop with the Australians on August the 18th.
Well, it looks like anything you can do to keep the seed out of the field could make a difference at some point.
Absolutely. The key is seed bank management. That's why a lot of times we talk about zero tolerance. Don't let any of these plants go to seed. I've done some research showing the impact of a single plant going to seed production, going reproductive, where it actually in cotton, after taking 20,000 seed to simulate a small plant, we lost the Roundup Ready technology in a cotton field 3 years after a single plant escape control. And we've also seen some similar results on some fields that we have here in northeast Arkansas, where individual plants rapidly spread across the field. As a result, we talk about zero tolerance, preventing seed production. We talk about managing weeds on turn rows, on ditches. The key basically is whole farm management, and it's got to be a community effort to try to prevent Palmer amaranth and other resistant prone weeds such as barnyard grass, some of the giant ragweed that we have. These resistant prone weeds, we've got to prevent them from going to seed.
How much trouble would it be to put some of these machines into production? Obviously, there's a place here.
Obviously, I think this is going to slightly slow, based on what I saw last year. I think it does slightly slow the harvest operation anytime you have a piece of equipment hooked to the back of a combine, but it's no different than where we talked today with residual herbicides. There's obviously some cost to pay associated with resistance, and I think the benefit, with that being said, I think the benefits probably outweigh The cost, I'm not going to sit here and tell anyone today that I have data to sit here and say that the chaff cart is a solution. I think we're using the chaff cart kind of as a starting place, and again, we're looking at narrow windrow burning. What's interesting is actually I have seen there's been some recent patents filed where they've taken the Harrington seed destructor, the grinder that they have attached to the back of the combine, and they've actually looked at integrating that into the combine.
Once the new traits are introduced, Norsworthy cautioned growers against dropping residual herbicides from their weed control programs.
The reason we don't have glyphosate-resistant barnyard grass today, folks, is because we've had all these residuals in there. I'll tell you this, LibertyLink cotton, Glytol cotton, someone on, again, one of these earlier buses said, Glytol cotton, if I'm going to plant Glytol cotton, what do I take out of the program? What residual herbicide do I take out of it? And I said, absolutely none. Because if you want it to work and you want it to work consistently, and you don't want a glyphosate-resistant barnyard grass, and you don't want Liberty-resistant pigweed, you keep all of the residual herbicides in there. And hey, you're not telling me anything. Does that cost money? Absolutely it costs money. That's where we are today. If anyone thinks that we're going to return back to the days of the mid-90s, spraying one product and weed control being easy and cheap, you're wrong.
This is Logan Hawks, Lost Planet Media, reporting for Respect the Rotation.